All right. Shalom, shalom, and shalom, Sister Deborah, this evening with a message regarding understanding. I'm turning down my phone here, and we're going to get into this message. It's regarding understanding. I did a little search and decided, I think this would be a good topic because I just felt that there was more to it. Uh, and I believe that the whole world, think they have the full understanding of pretty much everything, even especially the kingdom itself. The world really think they got it nailed. They think they got the answer to it all. And I know for a fact that they are. Now, what is this? Let me get this off of here. I know for a fact they are a long ways, being so it is impossible. After my search today, I realized it is impossible for people to continue to think and feel they are at that level of a relationship with the Creator, period. As I told you all, I always knew that understanding was who the Creator was and is and shall always be. He is the full understanding of all things. Uh, and understanding rests within him. Okay. Today I learned, uh, after I did my search and then went into the Hebrew, that understanding means discernment. So it's connected with discernment and discern. So that lead me back to why the gift of discerning was important. Because I used to always think the gift of discerning, Father, is really a powerful gift because it's allowing you to discern things, especially good and evil. And time after time, I have mentioned on this page for the say probably in the last 6 7 years that uh, understanding is the Holy Spirit itself, not the Holy Spirit is, which is still the same, which is Yah himself. That's a part of who he is. And I knew that the gift of discerning was something only given to one from the kingdom. Now, you got people out here teaching, preaching, ministering on all these platforms. They think they have the authority and the right. And what makes them wrong is they don't have the right to teach as if they have understanding. Understanding is a very powerful gift that has been poured out in the spirit of many. And what people have detached themselves to is the understanding in the flesh. And this is what they're teaching. They're teaching the people from the level of the flesh. Now, is that okay? Yes, because there are the twos. I do know understanding is in the flesh, and then there's the understanding in the spirit. Now, listen to this. If the understanding in the flesh will stay on the left side, then it'll be okay. If the understanding of the spirit is seen to be on the right side and is standing firm and tall, that's okay. It's actually allowing you to know the tools of both understanding is in the place in which it was created within individuals to be. So it gives you a better understanding of why people don't know what you come to know or what you understand or what the Spirit has taught you and revealed to you from the level of the wilderness. And why is it no one, we've heard what you said. We know that that exists. We don't even need to pick up our study guide. We've heard that over and over, but we have not heard it like that. We have not heard no one break it down like that. Why? It's not so much as that I'm breaking it down in a way. It's going back to if you have the Ruach in you, which is the true teacher, which is all understanding, if that's in you, it's not that it's not in you to understand and to hear it. I mean, to know it after you hear it, but it's the individuals who can hear it and still not know it. What I'm going to do, I'm going to go into understanding and let you see how heavens created on the earth as with everything twos. And he made sure that one don't get tied up with the other to the point where he gave a gift that is identical to understanding. And that is the spirit of discernment. When you look it up, I didn't look it up in English, but if you look it up in Greek, if you look it up in Hebrew, guess what understanding means? It's defined as discernment. Then I had to go back and say, wait a minute, there's a gift that was poured out called the gift of discerning. Is that the same? Yes, it is. It's the extra portion of when Yah is in you. If he is in you, he is understanding. Now you have the understanding, right? But if he poured out the gift of discerning, that means he gave you a double portion. Now it makes sense how I was being chastised by the Spirit. Because I would say to him, like say for instance, if I were to go somewhere, let's say to the movie theater, and someone walk up to me and start talking to me, and they don't know me and I don't know them, but yet they're communicating with me openly about themselves and just openly feeling like they've been knowing me for years. And Sister Deborah, I don't play with that, y'all. I make sure I go to the Father and ask him, who was that? I used to do that so much because people would approach me like they knew me and communicate with me. And at first, you know what, you all, I thought it was me. I thought it was something about me that allowed people to speak so open. Because that's something I've been told since I was a young person. I can speak so open to you. It just, I don't know why I'm telling you all my business. It's just so easy for me to talk to you. People tell me that all the time. But see, they don't know that it ain't that it's me. It's what's in me that you're opening it up to. You see what I'm saying? So I used to wonder why the Father would always tell me, use the gifts, Deborah, that I have poured out in thee. Use the gift. And he used to say, in me, me in you is greater than anything on the outside of you. But I gave you the spirit of discerning. So you don't have to run to me because I'm going to help you from the inside out. Use the gift that was poured out from the kingdom. And that was the spiritual discerning. Now, the spiritual discerning is what people would call being able to discern good and evil. That's a beautiful gift. Just think now. The spirit of discerning is to discern good and evil. And when you put it and you do your search, you'll find out that discernment means understanding, and understanding means discernment. So what do that mean? When he's chastising me and disciplining me about running to him, asking him, who was that? Did you send that person? Who was that person? And he's constantly on me, use the gift that I gave you. So what he said to me, that gift of discerning is to know good and evil. But guess what else, y'all? It's to know, to understand it. You see? So all these years when I used to do that, now it makes sense why he would chastise me and discipline me about not using the gift of discerning. Because even though the gift of discerning is to discern good and evil, but it's bigger than that. It is to understand the good that's in individual and the evil that's in individual. Because that's what discernment means, understanding. So I, Sister Deborah, is the person that can teach this topic and try to bring it to the forefront. Hello in the live chat. It's good to see you. To bring it to the forefront, because you too might be experiencing this same situation in trying to really grip what is actually going on, even in your living amongst being in the world. Okay. And I want to show you that heaven made sure that understanding and his gift of discernment is not taken and given and dispersed to the world. He divided that bad boy real good. And I had no idea. So when I'm sitting here saying these people here, they on YouTube and all this here on churches and all these places, that they're only teaching what they don't have. You see, they don't have understanding. So they have to teach. They don't have understanding. So you know what they have to teach, which is sad. So let's go. Let's start here. Let's go to Ephesians. In the book of Ephesians, chapter 1 and verse 17 and 18. The book of Ephesians, chapter 1 and verse 17 and 18. Okay. And it starts in 17. That Yah of our Yeshua HaMashiach, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom, revelation in the knowledge of him. Okay, so you see the wisdom, the revelation, and the knowledge. If he's going to give you that, do you know what realm he's going to give you that? In the spiritual realm. So people who are walking around saying they got wisdom, they have knowledge, and they have revelation, they really don't. So you see what people are being taught? All these churches and all these religions and all these places of worship and temples and synagogue and all these places that these people are worshiping and portraying that they're in tune with something in the spirit realm. They are nowhere near it. Not even near it. Now listen to Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 17 and 18. That Yah of our Yeshua HaMashiach, the Father of glory, may give unto you the spirit. You see what I'm saying? Remember how Sister Deborah was teaching you that wisdom goes two ways, knowledge goes two ways, understanding goes two ways. Now I see here where I see the word revelation, it goes two ways as well. You see, That means you can have a revelation in your flesh, but there's a revelation in the spirit. Look at verse 17 where he says, may give unto you the spirit of wisdom. This is why they can't teach spirit and truth. This is why they can't teach as if they have the light. They don't have righteous. They don't have heavens didn't give it to them. Okay? Because it has to be a spirit of wisdom. See, they thought that the law was just going to be the law. When Yeshua came, he said he ain't come to change the law or the commandments or whatever he was saying. They were saying he was actually saying in the flesh, the way the flesh have detached themselves to it. I ain't come to mess with that. I don't blame him. Don't mess with that. They plans. Leave them what they got. That's what he was saying. I ain't coming to change it or tamper with it or mess with it. Because guess what? He already knew in the heavens was the true commandments and the true law. They are spirit. People. That's why I said when I first got on YouTube, they was beating these people down with this law and this commandment. They were using it like an iron claw. They were clawing the people with it. And in me, I couldn't understand why y'all was letting them do it. But now, and I'm not talking about today, I'm talking about throughout those 7 years, he have allowed me to back in them 7 years, because he taught me what they were doing. They didn't have the law. They don't have the law of the spirit. They don't have the law, the commandment of the spirit. They have that which is in the flesh. That's why when Yeshua came, he said, I didn't come to change or to move. So the Hebrew Israelites figure we can still use Torah to sling it on in here and make them go by that. No, you can't, baby. Because you don't understand the spiritual law, the spiritual commandments. So let's continue here in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 17 and 18. Now here he is. He's calling the spiritual of wisdom. See, no, 99.9 don't know that. This what makes it so hard for people to witness to people. This is what makes it so hard for people to be able to talk to their loved ones about this wonderful food of the spirit, this wonderful word. It is so hard because it's coming from a spirit realm. It's not on a spirit standpoint. It ain't coming from the natural. They are so glued into the natural to where they're not even equipped to receive the word of God outside of the words. You get what I'm saying? So if the spirit of wisdom, the spirit of revelation, the spirit of knowledge of him, it's found in spirit, then this is why the people are lost with the cause and without. 99.9. Because it's a form of why it goes back, why he said, seek ye the kingdom. Because when you seek the kingdom, you're seeking the spiritual route, the spiritual way, the spiritual understanding, the spiritual wisdom, the spiritual knowledge, the word, which is spirit. But when you just searching to claim something and name something and say that you are a part of something, no, baby, that's not going to get it. So as I was as I was trying to find something to talk about, I grabbed understanding, and I knew I had it understanding master, and I still do. I still say I have understanding master. It's just that I didn't know it was detached to discernment, and discernment was attached to understanding, which means spiritual understanding. Okay, discernment. Y'all discern the heart of man. You see, it's the same thing. So here it's telling you in Ephesians chapter 1, verse 17, that wisdom is a spirit, and revelation is a spirit, and knowledge is a spirit of him. Now, do you have a spirit? Do you have not a spirit? Do you have wisdom in the flesh? Yes. Do you have knowledge in the flesh? Yes. And you know what? You got understanding in the flesh as well. And you can get revelation in the flesh. So here in Ephesians, let us continue to verse 18. And then in verse 18 of Ephesians chapter 1 and verse 18, it says, the eyes of your understanding being enlightened. It's your spiritual eye, y'all, of understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling and what the riches of his glory, of his inheritance for the holy ones. Right there, it's talking all spiritual, y'all. It's talking all spiritual. It's talking about the eyes of your understanding is spiritual eye. The understanding is the Ruach HaKodesh, being enlightened in you. Throughout the last, I think, maybe 4 years, I have been instilling the spiritual backpack and having a spiritual backpack and having the light, because the light should have been taught from the beginning. When people first joined any place of worship or any religion, we should have first and foremost be taught seeking the kingdom of heavens, the creator himself. That should have been our first lesson in whatever religion or whatever group that we join. I don't care if it's Muslim, if it's Islam. I think I don't know who they're all probably the same. If it's Jehovah's Witness, if it's Catholics, if it's Christian, if it's Hebrew Israelite, nobody took the people to the altar. The altar is the spiritual route, people. You never got a chance to go to the altar of the Most High Yah. That's the spiritual route. That's the route to seeking ye the kingdom first, and all will be added unto you. You never got the opportunity. But as I listened to the Ruach today, he said, I gave them not. I gave them not. And don't think when he's saying this to me, I don't grip it. I got it, baby. I salute it. I know exactly, because I know what took place before the foundation of the world. He had already parked everybody where they need to be, not just in the beginning, but for eternal. That's why I said that's the one we need to be fearing. I ain't gonna say we need. Let me cut myself off of that. That's the one the world should fear. The one that hold that type of authority and power to do that. So when you get to verse 18, he says, the eyes of the understanding being enlightened, that ye may know what is the hope of his calling. They're talking about the spiritual one, the creator, and what the riches of the glory of his inheritance in the holy ones. In the holy ones. What is it he's saying that's in the eyes of the Holy One? Understanding, enlightening. Okay. There's a calling and a hope within them. The riches is found. The glory of his inheritance is found in the holy ones. So that's why it's okay to accept the way the world has gripped all these different religions, what they believe in, what they stand for. It's not given to them. It's not given to them. And right here in verse 18, it tells you in the holy ones. It has here saints, but saints, it means holy ones. This is what he's saying. That understanding is found in the holy ones. And what is understanding? It's a form of discernment. And discernment is the form of understanding. And what are those? Yah himself. It's who he stands for. That's who he is. That's why it says the eyes of your understanding being enlightened. You see? Spiritual, y'all. Strictly spiritual. So how would you think someone can go into teaching anyone if they have not seek ye the kingdom and have not, and the kingdom is the altar of Yah, and the altar of Yah is strictly spirit. The kingdom of Yah is strictly spirit. So you see how all this that people are doing, saying, teaching, when you see Joe Epstein and T.D. Jakes and Joyce Meyer and them having millions of followers, they're following the darkness as close as they can. This is why. When you see all these people on this YouTube and they got all these subscribers, this is the same reason. Same reason. Because when it's the understanding and the discernment of the spirit, and he's saying the eyes of understanding is our understanding being, that means constantly being enlightened. Okay. And then it says the hope of his calling and the riches of his glory, of his inheritance unto the holy ones, y'all. So that leave everybody else that you have ever seen out. It goes back to that narrow gate. It gives you the full understanding why that gate is going to be and was and is and shall be eternal, a narrow gate. Okay. So now I can understand that I was given an extra portion. So let me explain what I mean by that. You know how sometimes I can tell you all that I know who's who and what people are thinking, and they don't have to be here. They can be up in the corner in live. They can be no matter where they at. If they come anywhere near the sound of my voice, I can discern something near. I'm serious. This is not a gift today. This was a gift when I was a young girl. And like I say, the only one can vouch for it is my parents, my mother especially. My dad have heard me speak on it, but my mom, she knew the whole overall. So this is not something I would say to you in the year 2025. What I say should frighten you, because if he been dealing with me since I was 4, and I'm telling you that I've been doing this here way back then, so I should be sharp as a butcher knife today in that area. And I am, because what that took me back to is, if you're going to give me the spirit of discerning, and the spirit of discerning means understanding, and understanding means discernment, then you gave me not only you, which is all understanding, you gave me a gift called discernment to understand what discernment defined. And what does it define? Knowing, having the knowledge, having the knowledge of good and evil. Now that I understand that it falls under understanding, the spirit of discerning, that means that having the gift to know good and evil, now I know that discernment means understanding, and understanding means discernment. That means in that extra portion he given me on the earth was for me to understand that good and understand that evil. That's what discernment is. Discerning. It means to discern good and evil. Have the knowledge of good and evil. But you couldn't even teach that to people to where they can say, okay, I know someone who has that gift, or I have that gift. You know why? They don't know nobody. Because It's gift that it's not meant for the flesh to accept. It's gift that meant for the body of the holy ones to accept. So people on the outside, they couldn't accept it. Matter of fact, they would deny it. But guess what? Whether you deny it or not, the gift of discerning is for good and evil. So whether you on the outside or the inside, the gift has its power from the Father unto those he give the gift to. So it don't make no difference. You see how you can really get in the way of where you shouldn't be and you still be? Because see, the more I give people information, they have no idea that they have been given that which, what, let me go to the millions. Let's go to 1 billion of people have not. So when you're listening to the Sister Deborah, you have to understand that if there's 1 billion people have not heard what this sister is teaching me, that right there should prick your spirit. But it don't. That right there alone should prick your spirit. Why? Because that's the way y'all orchestrated it. But it goes back to that heart and heart, that prideful, that ego, that self-centered, that set aside to just claim the position and name the position, but far away from. Because I've been teaching it. Now watch this here. When I go to 1 Corinthians and verse 12, now I had the spirit of discerning when I was a young girl, young girl, 7, 8, 9, 10, all the way up in there. So that's how long I had that. So with having it, he wanted me to understand it, not just have it and use it, but understand what you have so you can use it. Woo, Father, yeah, thank you. You see, look up understanding, and then you look up discernment. It's the same thing. So I had to do my search to find out. I said, wait a minute, there's a gift. That gift that you gave me, isn't that listed as one of the gifts? I knew I had the gift. I didn't care if it was in this study guide or not. I knew I had it as a little girl. So I didn't know. I wasn't getting it from here. I had it. And I knew I had it. My mother knew I had it. You see what I'm saying? So that shows you, the book can't make you nor break you. Heaven's then designed you, sealed you. Ain't nothing on this earth can take that away. Now listen to this. 1 Corinthians chapter 12, verse 10. To another, the working of miracles. To another, prophesying. To another, discerning of spirits. And when you look up discernment, it means understanding. So it was his intent that you understand people. That's why I'm on Devil's platform, because the gift that he poured out for me to be who I am on this Devil platform is to understand even the gifts themselves. It all makes sense because it says here, to another prophesy, to another discernment of spirits. So when I look up this in Hebrew and in Greek, both of them mean understanding. Discerning mean understanding, and understanding mean discernment. It all makes sense. So when he used to stay on me, stop coming to me, asking me who they are. Now listen to this, y'all. If he gave you from the kingdom a gift to discern good and evil, and notice, see, this is why I try to say to people, but it don't matter. It's over. You don't have to keep pleading with people who you are. And your ability to know who they are, or your ability to discern who they are, your ability to know in the spirit who they are. You don't have to explain that to anyone. Because if y'all still didn't give them anything, then they ain't going to take nothing you say to nowhere. It'll fall by the wayside. Now, but listen to what I'm about to say. Listen to what I'm about to say. What would be the purpose of him pouring out from the kingdom a gift of discerning of spirits? Now, the gift of discerning of spirits, what would you say in the line? Is this the gift of discerning of spirit is to know which spirit? 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 10. To another, the working of miracles. To another, prophesy. To another, discerning of spirits. To another, diverse kinds of tongues. To another, interpretation of the tongues. When you get to discerning of spirits, that means whether the spirit is good or whether the spirit is evil. Is it do you really believe that these gifts is only when you are face to face with individuals? No. That's how my Father rumbles from the kingdom. Everybody think that the gifts that Yah poured out was for the world, for the flesh. They have no idea he went beyond the flesh. These gifts is not for me to use to discern your flesh. I'm going beyond your flesh, baby. I try to tell you. That's why I don't need to see you. I can tell you where you at, where you going. And matter of fact, I would probably get in trouble if I tell you where you been yesterday. Somebody challenged me on that and I told them, they said, oh my God, yes. See? So therefore, when he's saying to another discerning of spirits, that's not saying spirits that's in your face where you can see it. No, spirits. Don't forget where the true battle is at. It's in the unseen among spirits. He didn't need to give me the spirit of discerning for your nasty flesh. It doesn't benefit him to give his servants these gifts to work on the flesh. It's to go beyond the flesh to the spirit that ushered the gifts. So therefore, when he's giving you the spirit of discerning of spirits, it don't matter if we on YouTube, if you over in Russia, if you over in China. At the sound of my voice where I place myself, and this is what I used to tell people that run up on me. When I open my mouth, this is going to change your life. Your life would never be the same. It's what you do with what you're about to receive. You see? I would say to you all, you in trouble and don't know it. And I've said that over and over, even on my old page. I used to tell them that. You don't even know what you don't even know what your ears are entertaining and your eyes are seeing. You have no idea. And this message is talking about understanding. And I learned to the max that understanding is a part of discerning. Discernment. Then that makes a lot of sense for me as a person that's keep running to the Father, asking them, who are these people? Don't know me and I don't know them. Did you send them? Did you send these people? Deborah, I gave you that gift so you can discern who they are. You don't need to come check with me at the altar. I'm greater in you than he that's in the world, chewing out. But the gift was an extra portion so you can understand good and evil, especially when it approaches you. That's the purpose of getting the gift. When he ascended and the Spirit of Yah poured out gifts or activated the gifts that he had already invested in us before the foundation of the world. But that was the time when the gifts were dispersed or activated. And I'm a living witness, not a dead one, that those gifts are realer than real. A lot of people wants to teach and preach. They want to be somebody important. But you know what? Let me tell you, if you have not seek ye the kingdom, and the kingdom ain't seek you, you better get somewhere and sit down and never get up again. Because he ain't out here now giving you another, bringing you to the forefront. That's not how he's doing it. He's activating that which was already in you and bringing you to the forefront. But those that thinking they today, I'm going to wake up and I'm going to get the right word and I'm going to get out here and no, it's over. He already had it in heavens already. It was finished. On earth, baby, we in the end. We ain't in the beginning. Okay. So I like the idea that 1 Corinthians chapter 12 and verse 10 shared with us that discerning of spirit. It comes with understanding people's spirit. Tell me that ain't a blessing. That's a blessing inside of a blessing. That's a blessing inside of a blessing, inside of a blessing, inside of the blessing. But it comes with endurance and long suffering. Because once you discern the spirit, then what? Oh, yeah. See, things don't come. People think this thing is a cakewalk. Oh, no, baby. That's where you need this, the spirit of long suffering and the spirit of endurance. Because if you run up on, and you do all the time, people of evil spirits, what you gonna do after you run up? Well, not run up on them, but you can discern them. What you gonna do after that? Nothing. People don't even understand. When I be on here talking, I explained. I know the thoughts. I know them, y'all. I can feel the vibe. I can feel the deception. I can feel people caught up in themselves. I can feel these things. How is it I can feel Yah, but I can't feel good and evil? When he's given me the gift of discerning and explained to me today, that's why what he kept getting on me about running to him. You got in the spirit of discerning, Deborah, is for you to understand what you up on. Why would he let me get on YouTube and not know what I'm going up against? A lot of times I have spoken about a lot of things, and I already told you. What did I used to say? I'm talking to a brick wall. What did I used to say? Going over your head. I said every kind of things because I already knew what I was dealing with. Just because you ain't been given the gift don't mean I'm supposed to deny the one that was in me since I was 4 years old. You talk like a fool. I will not. I shall not. And I have not. Okay? So let me go to Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 18. Here I am in Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 18. And it reads, they have not known nor understood. For he has shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their heart that they cannot understand. Now, this is what Yah is saying to Isaiah. So what in the rest behind you think he's saying to me today? The same thing I be telling y'all. He said, Deborah, this need be where you're laying at. Get in it. These people ain't going to change. These people ain't changing. They didn't change for me. They didn't seek ye the kingdom. Because see, to seek the kingdom, you would have to go to the altar. And the altar is spiritual. The kingdom is spiritual. So you would have to die to your flesh, pull up in your spirit, and get to know who he is, who he was, and who he gonna be. But people feel they got to lose something. They figure that they got to give up something. You don't have to give up nothing, baby, because guess what? Heaven didn't gave you up all from the beginning, before the foundation of the world. Oh yeah, yeah. See, you want Sister Deborah to tell the truth and shame the devil? 24:24. Okay. So in Isaiah chapter 44 and verse 18, it says, and they have not known nor understood. So if I'm on here and I'm teaching spirit and truth with the light, and I understand what the Father is saying, if they don't listen to me, they ain't gonna listen to you. If they hate you, it's because they already hate me. I don't get it. It ain't meant to be God, because it's the world. So here he says they have not known nor understood. Let's think, check. Heavens know this already, Deborah. For he has not for he have shut their eyes that they cannot see. So I can be sitting here talking, and I have told y'all time after time, you got pride, you got ego, you self-centered, greed, me, mine. It's nothing in people like that in the spirit realm. Even if they make their own Yah, let them build their own Yah within themselves. And it says here, for he has shut their eyes. That's why they cannot see. That they cannot see. And their heart, that they cannot understand. Sister Deborah didn't do that. But I can stand on any mountain and proclaim. I see that here today. I can tell you, these people minds, hearts, eyes, ear is done away with. And every time I used to get on here, I used to talk, I'm talking to the brick wall. Nobody never understood what I was talking about, even to today. And when I said it's going over your head, here it go, y'all, it's going over your head. I knew what that meant. I knew what it meant. He's not saying this right here to be for us to think that it's not something he done to where it's you talking to a brick wall, Deborah. Because if I've been talking since creation time and they still ain't listened in, baby, don't expect them to listen to you. But that don't mean you gonna stop talking. That don't mean I'm not gonna stop teaching you. That don't mean you ain't got no lane. So I like that, because he said, and their heart that cannot understand. So when you see Sister Deborah with one subscriber, let me tell you something. That will be the one that's in the oneness of who Yah is. It's not because Sister Deborah ain't saying nothing. I don't need to prove that, though. It's not because Sister Deborah is a liar and Sister Deborah ain't this and this and this. Or it's not because Sister Deborah asking for something from somebody. What is this telling you? What would be this? We know it's smeared, but something in it, still in the spirit realm, is saying something, because he's letting you know they have not known nor understood. For he has shut their eyes. They cannot see. You know, he ain't talking about shut your natural eyes, people. He ain't talking about shut your natural eyes. He letting you know where your spirit is already at. While your eyes in your natural can see. He done shut your eyes of the spirit, of your spirit, that you cannot see. And you know what? Even your heart been shut up, that you cannot understand. While you might have understanding that, hey, I'm saved. I got the key to the kingdom. I know I'm going. I know I got a relationship. You see what I'm saying? He ain't got no problem with you feeling you know, because he put two down here. And each one of them knows something. You see? So he don't have no problem with you knowing something. This here in Isaiah 44 and 18, strictly spirit. He's telling you, Deborah, you know, when you be talking, they would assume you talking flesh and spirit. 99.9. I don't care how long you've been following me. You would really keep getting in your mind that I'm talking about flesh and spirit. Guess what, y'all? Let's back this up and land this thing down. This Isaiah 44 and 18 has nothing to do with the flesh. It's still speaking spirit. When Yah sent us down, the only thing that's going to return is our spirits. Our flesh ain't returning. So he's not talking about your flesh here. He's letting you know, I assign you down to the earth. Okay? They have not known, Deborah, nor understood, Deborah, for he has shut their eyes in the spirit, y'all, that they cannot see in the spirit, y'all, and their heart, that they cannot understand, their heart in the spirit, their understanding in the spirit. He didn't shut it down. So people would look at me and get mad at me and think it's about me and what I'm saying. Even when they would think that they don't understand it, they will still think it's about me. But guess what? That verse, tell me, who is it talking to? It's talking to the spirits that he sent down here. He's talking here. He's not talking to the Holy Spirit, the spirit of the born of the spirit, the one that's the spiritual seed. He's talking about the spirit of the serpent seed. He's telling you the spirit of darkness, the spirit of the flesh, and not this flesh, but the flesh that the spirit, your spirit came down here to live out your flesh. And your flesh is taking advantage of living out the way that your spirit came down to live out its flesh. So he's talking about your flesh, spirit, not your flesh in the body, but your flesh mission in the spirit. Because what you didn't know, just like he said, seek ye the kingdom first, you're supposed to come to the spirit realm first. And I try to tell people that all since I've been on here, you can't go to the natural thinking you don't get to Yah. Seeking ye the kingdom. What do you think Yeshua was saying when he was saying the kingdom of heaven is at hand? Repent. Right there was the threat. That's a threat to me. That's a fierce to me. You mean heaven's finna come down? Let me get out of here. That's what it was about. And that's how we should have reacted. When he said, repent, for the kingdom of heaven is at hand. The kingdom of heaven, right then. That's the sign. And it should have been for everybody after the Ruach had already came. Everybody should have that mindset. But they don't. They could care less. That's what he explained to me. Get in your lane, Deborah. You go outside your lane, you think you telling them people something? You ain't telling them nothing that I ain't already told them. Look at before the foundation of the world. Look how the ball was dropped in Genesis. You think they know something? You think they know something today? They don't know what happened yesterday. So what do you think they know today? They don't know nothing. Come on with it. Isaiah chapter 44 and 18. They have not known nor understood. For he has shut their eyes that they cannot see, and their hearts that they cannot understand. Now, as I read that to you and I came out like that, let me show you what the Spirit just said to me. It says, now, do you see that? And instant I saw it. And I got chills right now. because I saw something on top of what I just read. I saw something on top of what I just read. Let's go there. Here it is. It is saying, they have not known that heaven had wrote them out like that. Nor do they understand. Woo, Father Yah. What heavens has assigned unto them. Nor will they. That's what I can say to the Most High. Salute him, nor will they. We in the year 2025. Listen to what it says. They have not known nor understood the route of the kingdom. So this is another side of why they will never come out of darkness. Because he said they have not known nor understood. Because I didn't give it to them, Deborah, to know. Nor to understand. So they came down here without it. Do you know what that means? It's no way they could have seeked to ye the kingdom. It's no way they could have. Because they came, he said, they had not known nor understood. Instant he said, see, Deborah, what was going on? You know, when I taught you what took place before the foundation of the world, for this same reason you speak in this, it's for that same reason you know. And they don't. You see, what did I tell y'all? I said we are in that day where he bringing light out of darkness. And it ain't coming out of darkness to make you think you entitled to light. Oh no, that's not why it's coming out. It's coming to get what it is, victory. After letting darkness be darkness all these years, it's time light get the victory in the end. Okay? So I end up in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8 through 9. I taught another message the other day. I think it was heart versus heart, I believe. And I sat back and I said, Father, that message was just too powerful. Let me tell you why I say it was too powerful, because it was hard for me to even embrace that Yah had gave me that ability to bring that message out. And it was doing something to me, just being blessed to be able to take such a message out. And it goes right back to everything else. It goes right back to what he said from the beginning. Go right back to here. They have not known. They don't know the kingdom, y'all. They don't know nothing. Okay, so here we are, Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8 and 9. Isaiah chapter 6, verse 8 says, also I heard the voice of Yah saying, who shall I send? And who would do for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. See, just hearing that goes right back to everything else I'm saying. The kingdom has routed this thing to the T. We down here trying to work it out, figure it out, make it out, get it out, and it don't mean nothing. Because he didn't nail this thing to the wall. No one is going to be able to flip it, script it, or take anything from it. I like how it's standing tall. Whether somebody is on the flesh standing on the left, somebody on the flesh standing on the right, regardless, I see him, the Father himself, high and tall, from the earth to as far as the kingdom can reach, to the earth and beneath, his feet to his head. I see him stand tall. Here in Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 8, also I heard the voice of Yah saying, who shall I send? And who will go for us? Then said I, here am I, send me. This is not there to really give a person the idea somebody's ruling heavens outside of the Most High Yah. It's just was giving you a little something about who rules, who calls the shots, who predestined everything, who foreknew everything, who ordained everything before the foundation of the world. That's all it's letting you know. Now watch this here, verse 9, Isaiah chapter 6 and verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear indeed. I like that. Go and tell this people, hear indeed, but understand not. See, everybody thinking everybody think it's in their power to get this thing. Everybody think it's their choice to understand this thing. They think it's their choice to have the wisdom and the knowledge of this thing. They think it's their choice to have the revelation of this thing. You ain't got nothing coming, baby. You don't have nothing that heaven ain't ushered to you to have. And this is why you can't run with what you say you got, because you ain't going nowhere. You running with a fantasy that you are the one. Oh, I got my kick. I know I'm going. I know I have the Holy Spirit. I know okay. Keep knowing it in the flesh. But what do you know in the spirit? Try that. Now listen to what it says. Verse 9. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. And see ye indeed, but perceive not. Woo! Heaven's calling it out. Now, do you know how it says that he will be a comforter? That Isaiah 6, chapter 6 and verse 8 and 9 is truly what you call a comforter. That's the characteristic of a comforter. See, the comforter is coming to comfort you because it knows what the world is going to try to do to you and have done to you. But it wants to be there to comfort you. I'm a living witness, not a dead one. He has been that comforter to me because trying to get me to understand, not in my flesh, is understanding. It's not in my spirit, there's understanding. It's in my flesh to understand. These things need me, baby. You're talking to a brick wall. You see? He's actually letting the comfort of knowing this right here. And he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed. That means you're going to hear it. Woo. That means you're going to hear it. Indeed. But understand not. And see indeed, but perceive not. There's a game being played on this earth. And it's already won by the victory of the Father, the Creator himself. I give him glory, honor, and praise. Woo-wee! And we down here on the earth really thinking we ruling. So now I go up in to Daniel. But the comforter comes in Isaiah chapter 6, verse 9. Where it comes in is when you think that when you know, not even thinking that you're giving the spirit of truth and the light and you're trying to figure out, well, what's wrong? The people ain't getting it. They ain't hearing it. They ain't comprehending it. Then this is a comfort to you. It's letting you know, but wait a minute, hold up, baby. What did heaven just say? Tell these people indeed, but understand not. And see indeed, but they won't precede not. It don't matter. So don't let it get to you what you come down here to do. Because just because you come down here to do it don't mean they're going to take heed to it. They're going to listen. They're going to do the opposite because they don't want to represent me. That's how Satan was able to deceive the whole world, because the whole world went Satan's way. So I ain't looking for them to turn around and about face my way. It's over. I sent them down that way. From the heavens did I know them, not from the earth, Deborah. They never did grip before the foundation of the world. I knew thee. I predestined thee. I knew you before you was in your mother's womb. So what in the rat behind you think you're down here doing? Something I don't know from the kingdom? Or something I didn't set up from the kingdom? Y'all better wake up. Which you ain't gonna do. And that's well with me. So when I get into Daniel, chapter 12 and verse 10, we talking about understanding. Heavens had already sealed that to those who are in, to those holy ones of his. So don't battle with trying to make sure somebody gets something. Speak truth, spirit and truth with the light, and keep it going. You got your lane, run in it. Keep it going. Because I'm going to get victory like I got it in the beginning. I'm going to get it at the end. The light not just going to shine yesterday. It's going to shine tomorrow. Because I'm going to be the beginning and the end, the Alpha and Omega. I'm going to be that. And how I'm going to do it, I'm going to pour light up in the midst of darkness and let truth be known. Okay? So in Daniel chapter 12, verse 10, many shall be purified and made white and tried. I like that. Because that's what I keep trying to tell y'all. You ain't getting out of here just figuring you can just stand back, in a dark corner somewhere, and you're going to just, look to the side. Oh, you just definitely, I'm going. Oh, no, baby. And tried. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise shall understand. Now, notice it says the wise. That's the spiritual wise. Those that spiritual wise. They shall understand. Okay? But the wicked, they shall not understand. This is the end days. Daniel was talking about this. Many shall be purified and made white and tried. I like that. But the wicked shall do wickedly, and none of the wicked shall understand. But the wise shall understand. Going back to what I was saying to y'all, if you all really knew the importance of having individuals that's able to give you the word in the form of spirit and truth, and they have the light in their hand, you better get yourself together and hold on. I mean, like hold on to like you're holding to dear life, because there's no one else coming. He ain't finna send another Deborah. He ain't finna send another nothing. So if you find someone that's speaking spirit and truth with the light in their right hand, you better try to run and detach to them. And when you detach to them, you can leave Sister Deborah. But when you detach to them, your butt support them. I know, like he said, when they didn't do you, they didn't do me. So most high lets me know that. So I'm just saying, somebody else that's out there that's speaking spirit and truth and got the light, do right by. Sit your tail down and stay in one place. because he ain't coming and dropping them down on the earth for your tail. Look what he's sitting here telling you. Daniel sitting here telling you, and then Isaiah sitting here telling you what he did before the foundation of the world, how that you ain't going to see, you ain't going to hear, you ain't going to understand. Then Daniel pulled up and said, many shall be purified and made white and tried, but the wicked shall not do, but the wicked shall do wickedly. So we can't erase the wicked continuing to do wicked. We can't erase that. And none of the wicked shall understand, but the wise in spirit shall understand. Okay, so there go Daniel. He's speaking of it. And he's speaking of, this is the end days where he's going to make them white and they're going to be tried. They're going to be purified. So see, Daniel, that's way, way back, giving you a warning today. How much warning do we need? And then he's sending his servant right now, giving you the last cup of spirit and truth and the light in these days. And they still bypassing them. And you think y'all concerned about it? Why would he be concerned when he know in heavens he said you weren't going to see no way? When he knew in heaven, he said you weren't going to hear. And then he said in heavens, and you ain't going to understand. So when you think he down here hooping and hollering, saying, let me get somebody down there so they can understand. Let me get somebody down there so they can see. Let me get somebody down there so they can hear. He even told the one that went down, said, I will go. And when he went down and he said, send me. And then it says that, and he said, go and tell this people, hear ye indeed, but understand not. So you can go down there, but when you finish, they ain't gonna understand. When you finish, they ain't gonna see it. You thought I was just talking when I was telling you, going over your head and you're talking to a brick wall. That was my gift of discerning, knowing that the spirits was right there. You can speak to somebody 1,000,000 years and they can be more lost than ever. And they'll sit there and be with you 1,000,000 years, but you just be more lost. Not for you, they're really against you. So here we go in Hosea. In the book of Hosea, let me see what time I'm. Okay. In the book of Hosea, chapter 14 and verse 9. In the book of Hosea, chapter 14 and verse 9, it says, who is wise? And he shall understand these things. Putin, and he shall know them. For the ways of Yah are right, and the just shall walk in them. But the transgressors shall fall therein. So right there, who is wise? He's letting you know only the holy ones, the righteous ones, y'all, the just ones. See, everybody think they holy. So just imagine 99.9% of the world is not holy. 99.9% does not have the spiritual wisdom, does not have the spiritual knowledge, does not have the spiritual understanding, does not have the Ruach HaKodesh. But guess what? The world follows them and support them. But that's why he say that the world loves its own. Because why do he say, he don't say that, but that's what they say. Why do they say that? Love their own. Because they support their own. They do right by their own. They follow their own. They counteract with their own. They support their own when participating with their own, because the world loves their own. That's where you know that some people go into the dark tunnel and hoping that they're going to come out of the light on the other side, and they never get a chance to come out because they portrayed that they was looking for the light. They never was looking for the light, and they get stuck in the tunnel, the dark tunnel, and they never get out because no light comes. to show them the way, because they thought they knew the way. Oh, I get in here and I know I got what it takes. I got the light. I got this. You get your tail in that tunnel and you're stuck. Now you don't know which way to go, which way to turn. How do I get out? Where is the light that I may see? That's what people are going to be looking for in the end days. They're going to look for it and ain't going to find it. Okay. So here in Hosea chapter 14 and verse 9, who is wise, and he shall understand these things. Why? Because spiritual. Putin, and he shall know them. For the way of Yah are right, and the just shall walk in them. But the transgressors shall fall therein. I was listening to a man today, and I wasn't planning on listening. I had my grandbaby, and my daughter brought her up over early, so I wasn't able to get on and do the early morning message. But I had my grandbaby, and I was just listening to this one man, and he's a pastor of a small, I don't even think it's a small, yeah, he's been on here for quite a long time. And he was videoing all the land. He bought 18 acres of land, and he was videoing it because he was out there at the land. And you know, those machines that knock the trees down, they all were out there, doing the work of knocking trees down so they can clear the ground, because I guess he's going to have something built there. And his congregation, I guess they're going to move out, which is really smart, move out in the land that they bought. They bought 18 acres. And he was saying how they bought it, and that when they be having, some days he was saying it would be for any and everybody who wants to come out and fellowship with us. But he was just sharing, when they get that type of land and they're excited that they got the land, and they looking further at a vision, which is saying, okay, this is a good start. This is something really good. I already got the congregation, and we're coming out this way. We're coming out of the city, the suburbs, or wherever they all are at, and they're going to go out that way, where he bought all the land. And 18 was pretty good. So that'll be able for them to branch out. Everybody that's within his congregation, everybody could have a space where they can have something built. But he was out there, and he was just talking about what he has and all that, the land. And I was just looking at it, and then the first thing I thought about was him having his congregation, and they all are going out that way. It's not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing at all, because matter of fact, I think if it was possible, if others would have thought of that, to do it way ahead of time, because as time go on, when it's time to build, they're going to raise up, which I heard they're doing already, the lumber and all of that. The prices of stuff is raising up for building and everything. But if they get together and all of them work together, they can build whatever they need to build. But I think that I felt good for him, to be able to have that type of land, and actually enough land for anybody to want to go on, even build them a house, and be all away from all of this destruction. And that's what his land looked like. It's way out, and it's away from, but he's still on where he can get on the highway or whatever, but it's out. But the ideal is getting away from all of this and going out, because what the whole ideal is, okay, chaos is going to hit. Get ready to start stacking and preparing everything. It's not going to erase you from the chaos. You're going to be hearing the chaos. It's going to be taking place, but at least you'll be in the area where either they're going to, unless, like I heard Trump talking about destroying the people who's and buying land. They talking about getting out. I don't know if y'all know that they talking about going after them. But I think with Yah, no matter where you are at, when he come for his, it's not where you at. It's what he coming to get. You see, that's what he coming to get. But I wouldn't want, to me, it's no way that I would want, and this is me, I would take money and buy something amongst everybody. That meaning houses where you got houses next to each other or a community. No, 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 no. Because this is not this day that we're in. It is best to be off away from everything and just make sure you have your transportation if you have to come in to get and put your items and stuff aside in the land that you get or wherever you get. And it would have been better had people start building, but people are holding on to so many worldly things, so many worldly issues, so many things that they think they can't do without. And they stay in the mess. But like I say, we can stay anywhere. Y'all gonna come get us no matter what. But when I saw him do that and he was showing all this land, somewhere in me, I felt good for him. I felt happy for him. I felt really happy for him. Myself, I don't think I would have needed no 18, but even though I would have gotten enough to where 10, 15 houses could have been built on it, but I wouldn't have got 18, you see. But by him having a whole congregation and his church, I don't even think that big, but and he'd been on YouTube for a while and he got his land, and I'm really happy. I was really feeling happy for him because that's something I wanted to do. So in that process, me looking at him and saying I was happy for him, I was saying, but Father, in spite of it, wherever you come, you know where I'm at. That's how I see it. Because I said a lot of people don't understand. It ain't that Yah so love you and gave you to where you're able to go out and get that, which is going to make you feel a little comfortable than being in the suburbs or in the not country, in the city, and just in the state. Being is better putting out. I think it is better. It is better. It is. And all they have to do is stock their stuff now. Start stocking their food and everything up so they won't have to. And that's easy to build you a 10 storage. That's all they have to do, and put a fence around it so they can put stuff there. And then when the stuff start happening, they got enough to survive out there in the woods. You see what I'm saying? And all those trees that they were cutting down, save those trees and have them to cut them. They're going to cut them in pieces, I know, but just save that stuff, everything. Just save everything that you have and just use it. Just use everything as the Spirit leads you to use it. So when I saw him, I said, I'm so happy for him because he seemed so happy and that he did get the land, and he was offering it to, not to everybody, but to people who wants to come in. And I think it's Sukkot or whatever they call it, coming together when they had those little feast things. But I felt glad for him, even though that was something I had always wanted to do. And I began to say to the Father, I say, there's those that have it and those who don't. But one thing about it, no matter the one that have it and the one that don't, you still gonna come get us when it's time. No matter where we at. Praise the mighty Yah. But the key to it was the struggle. It's the reality of things that's actually going to hit right where you at in your community. The mindsets, like the smoke of that, the weed that they got is feeding these people brain to do all kind of wicked and evil things. People in suburb, people who surrounded in communities, you don't know what's in your community. And as I said, and just analyze today, a lot of dark things are happening now where so many killings. You don't know your neighbor. You want to say you do, but even this study I'm telling you right here, it's the same thing. It's telling you about two kind of people. You cannot exclude people in your community. You cannot think that, okay, everybody here is holy than thou. Everybody here. No, 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 no. Heavens knows what he put down. You don't, but heavens knows. So therefore, people really don't, they're not thinking. They're not thinking. They're not thinking at all. So that's the reason why I say that I see what he did, which was really good. And I was glad for him, because I said he's doing it. He's right on time. I said he is right on time to get up and get out like that. He's right on time, because they're going to give him enough time for the church. If they're going to build a church out there, they're going to build houses out there. They building a living quarter out there. They ain't building like a church and everybody come out to. No, they living. They're gonna build it, and if they start off while they getting them to cut them trees and everything, they need to start packing and buying to store away, because no matter where we're at, we're gonna go through. Go through lesser while they're far out. But when you're in these communities, these suburbs, these cities, and everybody always hooping and hollering about the cities, it's not just the city, baby, because what I see in the visions that I've seen, beautiful homes all over the place. Guess what I saw? I saw them burnt down. Some of them was burnt down. When I turned to this side was burnt. That side was burnt. They had burnt houses, but they had houses, all the windows were busted out. They had houses, doors were torn out. You know, it was, and guess what? While I'm sitting here seeing this in this vision, I've seen about 6 or 7 times in the same location. When I'm sitting here looking at this beautiful community with all these houses, I'm sitting here saying, so that's how it's going to be, huh? Right now, people living in these houses don't have a care in the world. And he's showing me what it's going to be. And the town seemed like it was just, now I just wasn't looking at one house. It was a lot of them, but the town was like a ghost town. You didn't see one human being, not one, but you see them houses tore up. They tore the windows out, the upstairs, the downstairs, the fences of the yards was tore out. It was like something came in and like they just, all I could think of was the military, but I just said it was a mess. That's the sort of environment that if you're not far out and you ain't in them woods like that, that's the sort of stuff that's actually going to happen. And everybody in the big denial, because they think what I got ain't nobody going to touch. Ain't nobody going to bother you. No. And it's not a scare tactic. And that's another thing. I sit back and think about all this stuff he was talking about in the dragon and all that. I'm like saying, see, y'all, you done a lot of things, and everybody thinking that you playing. And these things, he ain't come. When they come, it ain't about what everybody thinking is. You know, it's gonna only happen to this one. No, when he said you're gonna be tried, you're gonna be tried. Okay, and he even said people gonna lose their lives. A lot of people gonna lose their lives. So let me go and hit just a few of these here so we can end this here message regarding understanding. And it was Proverbs 28 and verse 5. In Proverbs 28 and verse 5, Proverbs 28 and verse 5, evil men understand not judgment. So when you're running around here wondering why people are doing the things they are doing, because he's letting you know from the kingdom, Deborah, they don't understand judgment. So that's scary. See, want me to tell you how scary that is? That's scary because it's letting you know. It ain't that they don't understand consequences down here, Deborah. They came down here like that. I was just looking at this other man who killed his wife. And once that one went off another one. We talking about melanated men. These men are off the chain doing all these things. Women are doing things too, but I'm not going to use that as a scapegoat. And I'm like saying, and it's always the women that had stuff going for themselves, had things, business, and have things going for themselves. They get up with these men because you don't know them. Going back to what I was just telling y'all about the understanding it from the kingdom. See, and he said in Proverbs 28 and verse 5, evil men understand not judgment. Look at it. Evil men understand not judgment, but they that seek Yah understand all things. Praise the Most High Yah. Understand all things. So what I told you I learned today was we wrong. We wrong trying to get people to understand what we're teaching, what we're preaching. It's not even in them. It's not even in them. From what level? The kingdom. See? That's why he say the war is in the spirit, because their spirit came down here to train their flesh, and their flesh is training their spirit to do the things that they do. That's a double portion right there. If you evil in your spirit and you evil in your flesh, we in trouble. I know we don't think we are, but yes, you are. That's the sort of thing that's out here destroying people. Remember I told you principalities and high places, that stuff is down on the earth now, eye to eye with us now. And we really think we got it going on. Okay. So he said in Proverbs 28 and verse 5, evil men understand not judgment. And they don't. They keep going in this jail, and they would sit and say, they bother me. The man that killed his wife had already served in the jail. I think it was he got 20 years. They let him spend 20. He got 20 years because he shot his other wife in the head. He only did 3 years, got out, met another woman, and started beating on her and doing her wrong. And she was a lady over a barbershop. I mean, it was just off the chain. She had 4 daughters, and he was a sex offender. You see how these women, you see, and look how she had to go out. He shot her twice, one in the face on her front lawn of her house. Okay. So they don't, evil men understand it, not judgment. So, you know, when I hear that, I'm going to admit the fear of the flesh, because this is what Sister Deborah been trying to say on this devil platform. They are gone. So what Yah is saying, Deborah, they was gone from the heaven, baby. It wasn't when they were down here, when you saw it on the news and you heard what they doing, and you read Deuteronomy 28 and you think did. No, baby. When Deuteronomy 28 came out, guess what? Heavens already knew they needed to be destroyed. And that's a powerful thing, because it's telling you heavens orchestrated that. So when you see this, it said in Proverbs 28 and verse 5, evil men understand not judgment. They don't care about going to jail. They don't care about having to shoot out with the cops after they done shot 2 and 3 people. They don't care. It's not in them to care, because they don't understand judgment. So what part of judgment do you think he's talking about? Anybody know? I'm sure no one knows. What kind of judgment do he think one would think that he's talking about? But they seek, but they that seek Yah understand all things. Why? Because Yah is understanding of what? All things. I try to teach that to people. Yah is all understanding of all things. So when you see it says, but they that seek Yah understands all things, because Yah is understanding. You see? And that's what he come to teach you, all understanding. That was the promise. Okay? But evil men understand not judgment. And when Sister Deborah, as a prophetess in the wilderness, when I make that statement, I'm making it not to bring fear, but to reality of why the fear on the earth should be. Now, most people are not fearful. Why? Because they don't understand the judgment. The first thing you would understand, the first thing you would fear would be the judgment after this old life. They don't give a rat's behind about the after this old life, the lake of fire. So when you see Proverbs 28 and verse 5, it's letting you know they're not afraid of the lake of fire. That's what it's saying. They're not afraid of the lake of fire. But they that seek Yah understand all things. Then I get to Psalms. In Psalms 139 and verse 2. In Psalms 139 and verse 2, Thou knoweth my down sitting and my up sitting rising. Thou understandest my thought afar off. What is he saying? They letting you know that the Father knoweth your down sitting and your uprising, and he understand the thoughts are far off. Far off mean from the kingdom. He know your thoughts from the kingdom. You see? So here you get to Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 7. Wisdom is the principal thing. Therefore, get wisdom. That's that spiritual wisdom. And with all your getting, when you get this wisdom, with all your getting, get understanding. Because that keys it everything off. Understanding caps spiritual wisdom, spiritual knowledge. Because Yah is spiritual understanding, all spiritual understanding. So he caps off spiritual wisdom and spiritual knowledge. And he said, with all thy getting of this wisdom, get understanding. Now here we go in Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 4. In Proverbs chapter 4 and verse 4, he taught me also and said unto me, let thy heart retain my word. Keep my commandments and live. That right there. He taught me also and said unto me, let thy heart retain my words and keep my commandment and live. I didn't see who's that. Was someone saying this? No, I think this. I don't know if David was saying this to him, to Solomon or not. I got to check into that. But verse 5, maybe it'll close out verse 4. Proverbs chapter 4, verse 5, it says, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not. You see that? Don't forget it. It ain't like you can forget it, but you can forget it in your flesh that you got it in the spirit. And you go out here talking all this mess in the flesh. So don't forget. Get wisdom in the spirit. Get knowledge. No, get wisdom in the spirit and get understanding in the spirit. Forget it not. Neither decline from the word of my mouth. You see? So I guess in some way or another, you can, because we got wisdom and knowledge and understanding in the flesh, it's saying don't forget the one that's in the spirit, because it overrides the one that's in the flesh. To tell the truth, to shame the devil. Okay, so he said, get wisdom, get understanding, forget it not, neither decline from the words of my mouth. Okay, Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 2. In Proverbs chapter 2 and verse 2, so that thou inclined thy ear unto wisdom, and apply thy heart to understanding. That's a spiritual heart. The spiritual heart that's in your spirit to understanding. Understanding is the Ruach HaKodesh. Okay? That wisdom is also spirit. Okay? Proverbs chapter 6 and 7. Proverbs chapter 6 and 7. For at the window of my house I looked through my casement. Verse 7. And behold, among the simple ones I discerned, among the youth a man void of understanding. You see that? You see in verse 7 when he looked the window of his house, and I looked through the casement, verse 7, and beheld, that means look, among the simple ones, I discern among the youths, a young man void with understanding. What is he doing? He was able to discern that. And in his discernment, brought him understanding that that individual was void of understanding. And when you're void of understanding, that means you're evil. So he used his what? Discerned among the youth. And he saw a young man void of understanding. You see the ideal of him discerned among the youth, that he saw one young man that was void of understanding, but he discerned it. You see, discern and discernment is the same as understanding, and understanding is the same as discernment. They're both spiritual. But when you get the understanding, when Yah is wanting you to understand that he is all understanding, that's spiritual. And then when he is right here in verse 7, it says he's void of understanding. He's void of understanding in the spirit. He don't have it, but he was able to discern that he didn't have understanding. He was void of it. Okay. Proverbs 23 and verse 1. When thou sittest, now listen to this one. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler, consider diligently what is before thee. Who can answer that? What is they telling you to do? That's exactly what I started off speaking on. Proverbs 23 and verse 1. And he just telling you to do one thing. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler. Now don't say ruler is like a king, somebody that's the president or somebody big time. So it says when thou sittest to eat with a ruler, somebody VIP, somebody important. Okay. When thou sittest to eat with a ruler. So you're invited. Consider diligently what is before them. Thee, not before them, before thee. What is that saying? Discern. Very good. Very good. That's what that's saying. You see? And in the process of discerning, he was letting me know that discernment and discerning mean understanding. Understanding who you sitting down with. Discern that spirit that is before you. This is what he's saying here. When you sit to eat with a ruler, discern that type of spirit that you sitting down with. Most people don't look at it like that. They go on and live their whole living, even among family members. Do you all know? I'm going to share something with y'all right quick. The biggest thing that Sister Deborah has gone through in all her life is to be able to discern with the fullness of understanding what I'm discerning. Okay? And I measure it by that. You see? Right here in Proverbs 23 and verse 1, that's why I understand exactly what he's saying. It's letting you know, have your spiritual instinct ready. I don't pour out these gifts for you to just walk as if you are of the world. You're going to need these gifts for the travel and the journey of your mission in the world. So he did. That's how I said a lot of people sick because they will renege, they will reject, they will not follow through on with the gifts he poured out. He poured them out because we need them for the journey in this world. And to exclude it and not use it or not accept it because we think the flesh can do it all, you go right ahead. See how the outcome gonna be. Because here in Proverbs 23 and verse 1, he said, when thou sittest to eat with a ruler. So now you got a seat in the big house. It don't have to be the White House. It can be a ruler, a king, or whatever. He said, consider diligently what is before you. Right then, all he's saying is, I gave you the gift to discern. Use it. Use it. You remember the man that had the talent, the one? That's why he hid it. He figured he can go on through living and don't have to deal with what heaven gave me. I don't need it. I got did. I'm going to hide this and wait till he come back. You see, that's the same thing I say about people not being about their father's business in the kingdom, but they more about the business on the earth. They put him secondary, which is still fine. You're not going to be where you think you are or when you need him and when you want to call on him. Oh, no. He don't come second if he don't come first. So in Proverbs 31 and verse 1, he's letting you know, use the gift. I didn't give him to you to hide him like that one with the talent. It's a good thing I only gave him one, Deborah, because these were spiritual gifts. Remember? That's the parable of it. They were given these things to use while they were on the earth. And him having one, he hid it. And what happened to him? He ended up in the lake of fire. Did y'all know that? Go back and read it. See, you don't know what you're playing with. You don't know what you're messing with. At least you think you're on this earth and you know what you're doing, but you don't. Okay? Now, in Proverbs, this is the last verse. The last verse is in Proverbs 29 and verse 19. In Proverbs 29 and verse 19, this whole topic was connected to understanding. And it was taking you to the realm of the spirit of understanding. Okay. And did it show you the difference for those who do understand, don't, and those that do? Yes, it did, because it showed you heavens. If he didn't assign you to have it, you ain't got it. How about that? How about that? You know, that's what I'm talking about. Okay. So Proverbs 29 and verse 19, a servant will not be corrected by the words. But though he understand, he will not answer. We don't answer to. When we got understanding, we don't answer to those who think they got the words to correct us. How dare you correct the one that got the understanding? What is the understanding? The Ruach HaKodesh. Your words can't correct the servants of the Most High Yah. The Ruach HaKodesh can. That's all understanding in them. But you, nah, you can't correct nobody but yourself. Because if the Ruach is in someone, it's the corrector itself of all understanding. And I try to tell people that all the time. If you say you got the Ruach, it's going to chastise you. It's going to correct you. It's going to get you right when you are wrong. It's going to get you right when you right. But listen to what it says, Proverbs 29 and verse 19. A servant will not be corrected by words. For though he understand, that's that spiritual understanding, that's that ruach, he will not answer. He don't have to answer to your words. With something that's greater in him than your words on the outside of him or her, you got to be kidding. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all joining me this evening. And that to me was such good food for the spirit. And I appreciate the Most High Yah giving me that information as far as understanding the understanding that rests in him, that came either with the spirit of the serpent seed or without. Serpent seed don't have the understanding. The spiritual seed has the understanding. So he's saying they came here like that. That's why they're not afraid of judgment. How you gonna get 20 years from shooting your first wife, and then you get out 3 years instead of serving the 20, and you get another wife? That's what made it so easy to shoot the other one, because I don't respect judgment. Oh no. That's how Israel and Judah is. That's definitely how Judah is. Judah don't respect judgment. Do you know what that means, y'all? Y'all really don't. That's what a rebellion is. Somebody who don't follow rules because they're not afraid of judgment. Israel never was afraid. Israel and Judah ain't afraid of the judgment of the Most High Yah. You mean y'all ain't figured that out yet? Yeah, right. Yeah, right. You ain't figured that out yet? They ain't been there. So that's why a lot of people don't care about you correcting and informing them of what is spirit and truth and what is light, what is right and what is wrong. Because they don't it's not in them. That's what that whole message was about. Don't look for people to have understanding. They don't have it. I didn't give it to them, Deborah. So I, Sister Deborah, appreciate each and every last one of you all in the live chat, and I will be back. Shalom and shalom.